Hi, welcome to Smosh Mouth. I'm Shayne.
And I'm Amanda, and we have a very wonderful guest with us today, Trevor.
Oh, I'm wonderful.
You're one. I changed up. I said special before, and now I'm saying wonderful.
Because we're in a different place.
Yeah. Look at this place. It's wonderful.
We feel like a normal podcast, I feel like.
It's so beautiful. Look at all the toucans. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I have
Toucans everywhere.
I actually didn't notice that until right now.
Yeah.
My tiny picture.
We had to bring him.
Yeah,
Of course.
I had to bring him.
Harambe is everywhere with me.
For those who don't know, Smosh is moving its studios from Rancho Cucamonga to Oxnard.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oxnard is a really cool place.
I've actually never been to Oxnard.
Oh, that's crazy. I've been there so many times.
My parents. That's where my parents are from.
Really?
Yeah, Ventura and Oxnard. They went to high school there.
That's crazy.
I've heard it's gorgeous, which the name doesn't sound gorgeous.
It sounds
Oxnard.
like Oxford in England. So that's what's helping me.
But Nard?
It's a beautiful place. It's crazy.
I love it.
It doesn't sound like a beach town.
Ventura.
Yes, it is a
Ventura
beach town.
sounds so much
Ventura
more.
sounds more like Long
a beach.
Beach,
like Ventura.
obviously. Yeah, Ventura.
Ventura.
But Oxnard sounds like it's in the middle of nowhere.
It sounds like there's a lot of universities around.
Yeah.
We're not vibing on Oxnard. Like, I have Oxnard as different in my head than you guys. That's
I think
clear.
so.
Okay.
You're thinking of it as academic.
Well,
Yes.
And I just see like a bunch of car dealerships.
It's an academic school that people are fighting for their lives, and they have to bond with a dragon. And if they don't bond with a dragon, they will die.
That's just fourth wing.
see, I see it as the place that I would go sometimes when I was a kid to visit family.
Yeah, you're too
that
close
I had.
to it.
Yeah, I'm too close. I
You're
can't
too
have an
close.
opinion on
That's good.
Oxnard.
Too connected.
Yeah, you shouldn't have an opinion on that.
But anyways,
I totally get that.
moving our studios. So in the meantime,
We're
filming here at just a
And
temporary.
it's so cute.
Yeah,
This chair,
it's
lovely
very
to
nice.
sit in.
This chair is actually
I gotta
incredible.
say, I'm so comfy.
I am excited to get a new chair for Reddit stories.
Whoa.
Okay.
I need
Chair
it.
have been having
Shayne.
problems.
Well, that chair.
I sat in Shayne's chair for 2 seconds during a live stream. What is wrong with that chair?
I don't
It's
actually
like a
know.
consistent, you want to go backwards, but that's not the point of it.
It's far more leaned back than it looks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have arm rests.
No.
It's not
It's
really.
not good.
It was just the chair we had, and we just threw it out there back in the day, and then we just didn't change it because we were just
But
like,
you
yeah.
sit there for hours. Shayne sometimes sleeps in that chair. That's how long he does Reddit stories for.
Yeah. We stopped down for a little bit. I'm like, let me just take a nap right here.
Sleepy.
Sometimes overnight.
yeah.
But
Yeah, we don't want you to do that anymore. In the new space, you can't do that. That's
yeah,
what
we're
I
getting a new
heard.
chair. I don't know exactly what the new chair is going to be like. I hope it's something like this. This is one of the most comfortable chairs I've ever sat in.
Can I just say, I just got so conscious of the fact that now people can see my lower half. Because normally we're sitting at the table and I'm like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing with my legs. And I
It's
just
true.
thought about it and I just immediately started fidgeting. I'm like, do my legs
Your
look
legs
weird?
look
It's
great.
it's-
That's why I wear
yeah.
these socks.
No, and you're wearing your shoes match the top.
Okay.
It's great.
Thank you.
I do when we're filming like a couple episodes of Smosh Mouth. It is nice that I don't have to worry about what pants I'm wearing if it like works.
Oh, yeah.
as a whole outfit.
Pantsless
Sometimes
is
I'll
my
just go Winnie the
favorite.
Pooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
At the table?
I have noticed that. It's tough for me to
it is
focus.
really tough. It's hard to ignore.
Well.
He comes in and just strips and then sits.
Yeah, I was wearing pants, but I take them off to
Yeah.
sit on that little tiny school chair.
Yeah.
The new set's gonna show our lower halves.
What?
You know what?
Dude.
I'm fine with that because I always wear nice lower halves.
I always
Yeah.
put on my nicest lower halves.
Yeah, my lower
Wow.
halves. Everybody loves my lower
That's
halves.
crazy.
I gotta get new pants. I need to go.
Shayne and I
pants
never
shop.
change our pants for Smosh Mouth. We'll just change our
I
shirts.
try to wear one pair of pants for a whole shoot day.
Yeah.
It does make outfits tough.
Mm-hmm.
I do end up wearing just white t-shirt and
Yeah.
something over it pretty much every day because I'm like, what else works with four
wrong with that.
four different variations?
Like, there's nothing wrong with wearing a white t-shirt. If I could wear a white t-shirt every day, I would. But me in a white t-shirt is weird. Like me in like I don't know. It just makes me feel like I went to gym class and I forgot my
You gotta
gym
try it
shirt.
out sometime.
I guess. I'll try
Okay.
it. I'll wear it with a gold chain.
It depends on what type of white t-shirt too.
We should do a video and we just all like wear white t-shirts and jeans and then pretend that it was an accident and be like, what?
Like, whoa, can't believe
How did we all
this.
do this?
This is wild.
I just spoiled it.
Now everybody
Okay.
knows.
It's okay.
So we haven't actually recorded a new episode of this show in a minute because we kind of batched up a bunch of episodes before we left our old studio.
It's been almost a month.
It's been like a month, and
Yeah.
a lot has happened in a month.
Angela, and Chance and Olivia played us.
Yeah.
plus
Yeah,
Spencer.
that was so fun.
That was a great episode.
Unbelievable.
Loved that.
Very fun episode.
But yeah, so much happened maybe in our lives.
Just in general, and as well, Punch.
Oh,
I hate that video.
don't talk to me about Punch.
Every video.
I do not like those videos.
So Courtney had a prediction for this year, and it was that monkeys are going to do something new. And
Reject their own.
yeah,
Bully.
be a huge loser.
Yeah.
Because Punch,
Whoa. Whoa, are you saying Punch is a loser?
just everybody hates him. Like
That's
he's kind of a
Dude.
reject.
Oh, okay, because
Crazy
Like, he just
Punch
hates.
take.
I'm kidding.
Everybody
I'm not
hates
punching
him?
down right now.
Whoa, everybody hates him? That means you hate him, Shayne?
No, I'm saying the
learning
monkeys
so
hate
much.
him in the monkey world.
So do you agree with them?
No, but I am a Homo sapien. I am far more
was
intelligent.
He's a
Somewhere
homo,
else.
all right.
Yeah, dude. No, the Punch videos, they are brutal. But then you'll see a video where it's like, oh, one of the monkeys likes him and is hugging him, and then in like the next video, it's like that monkey doesn't like him anymore.
Dude,
I'm
it
like,
is.
What the f- is going on?
That first day I learned about Punch was such a roller coaster because I was like, oh my God, this monkey is getting bullied and I wanted to cry. 20 minutes later, I see a video. Actually, the monkey has a friend now. And I was like, yes. And then another video comes and it's the monkeys being mean again. I'm like, what's going on?
All I can think about is like, f- those other monkeys. Like Punch is awesome. He's clearly awesome and ahead of his time. That's how I look at that situation.
Yeah, he's a Renaissance man.
Yeah, exactly. It's really hard for me to watch.
I really that story needs to turn out well. He needs to
What do you think's
inevitably.
gonna happen?
I'm like, if he never gets accepted fully into that
Why do you think?
tribe.
What is the possible reason why a monkey would not be accepted? Is it their scent? Like, what is it?
I'm not.
I know this.
Sure.
This is just an opinion.
Okay. Like our
opinions.
assumptions.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of power dynamics in the animal kingdom. Like one monkey's kind of being mean to be like, yeah, I'm a big dog. Like it's kind of like very human of like, I'm going to bully this kid because I want people to
But
see that I'm strong.
everyone's bullying him.
Everyone's
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just a hierarchy thing. Like you add one monkey to the chain, and it's just like, all right, where do you fit in here? Because there's an order to things. So if you're added, who is above you and who's below you?
Yeah. Well, it's like
Maybe there's-
Planet of the Apes, you know? It's like they hated Caesar. Planet of the Apes is crazy
Caesar was rude.
because it's like what?
Because Caesar was mean.
I didn't like Caesar either.
Caesar was mean in Planet of the Apes?
Wasn't he? Am I crazy?
I don't think so. I feel like he just was kind of a
Wow,
monkey.
it's been a minute
about
since
Rise
I've
of the
watched
Planet of the
all
Apes?
of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting.
But like the whole thing is like, there are all those monkeys are so mad they want to break out because there's no space, in the enclosure. It's like you'd think they'd just build a bigger,
So you think maybe the little one is just taking up a little bit
build-
too much space?
the bigger one. Gotta fix it.
I think maybe he has a different scent on him, and they feel like he's not
I wonder-
part of them.
My cats are that way, but cats are obviously so different. But like when my one cat goes to the vet and he comes back, our other cat hates him for days.
Because a different
Hates him.
scent.
Hates him. Like truly hates him.
I'm sticking with
And then
this.
suddenly one day is normal. I just don't know how monkeys work.
Yeah.
Maybe
How do monkeys work?
guys,
How do monkeys work?
how do monkeys work?
Put it in the comments.
Actually, that happens to me when I come home from a Smosh shoot. Raven hates me for like a few hours.
I don't think it's how you smell.
Hey. What the f***? Is it my scent?
Oh, it's my scent. It's Shayne and
Because I
Amanda's
smell
scent.
different. She doesn't recognize me. Maybe give Punch a little tiny like Porsche.
Gun.
You could give him a gun.
Could you imagine
Take away the
next,
stuffed animal. Give him a
The
gun.
next video, it's just Punch with a gun. Like,
And he's just holding it up. The other monkey's like, all right, you're cool.
This episode of Smosh Mouth is brought to you by ZocDoc. Hey guys, we are filming at a new location today, and I don't really know the area that well, but it's okay because I can just open the ZocDoc app and it'll find my location and find doctors in my area. So I can go to an appointment right after this episode.
Oh no, are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, you just made me laugh so hard that I got a little tummy ache.
Yeah, it happens. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love.
Throw some numbers out there, cutie pie.
Okay. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states. ZocDoc offers 200-plus specialties, ranging from dermatology to eye care. Appointments made through ZocDoc happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking.
Yeah, fast, like my heart is beating right now. Boom, boom. Anyways, I really like the ZocDoc app. It was so easy for me to find doctors in my area within my network. Your turn, cutie pie.
Okay. You need to go see a doctor immediately. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/SmoshMouth to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc.com/SmoshMouth. ZocDoc.com/SmoshMouth. Thanks, ZocDoc, for sponsoring this message. Back to the show.
I liked that.
What is going on?
I don't know, but I like it.
Okay, so that prediction, we could kind of mark that off.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
But another prediction that I think came true effectively, I said there'd be a gathering of 100 Chosens.
Oh my God.
And within a
And
month.
one Sarah Christ.
And one Sarah Christ.
There was one Sarah Christ.
Yeah, so
So talk to us about it.
within a month, within like January of this year, after making that prediction, some fans here in LA started organizing a gathering of Chosens that would happen at a park, and it was like, oh, this is picking up steam. Like they're really organizing this. There was posters around like Echo Park and stuff for it. It was awesome, and we started talking about it, and then our head of social team, Erica, was like, should we like send you? Should you go? And I was like, sure. Like, absolutely. Like, and, you know, when I saw it was happening, I was like, yeah, like, I would be down to go. And I was like, well, I need to go as the chosen. Like, I can't,
of
like, the chosen goes. And my dream was to kind of just show up and just try to, like, sneak in and just be, like, part of the crowd. It's like, what's up? I'm another chosen here. But they were like, okay, it's protocol here at Smosh. Like, you need to have, like, a bodyguard. Just in case. I was like, we're not going to need it, but fine.
Yeah.
And so we had this like huge, like 6'5" guy, probably
What?
taller.
Have we met him before?
Huge bodyguard, and we put him in a chosen shirt. And I was trying to explain the character. This is this guy who's worked for like 40 years as a bodyguard, and he's like, so what's his deal? Like, what's the chosen's deal? Does he like howl and stuff? I was like, not really, but he just is like, he just likes wolves on his shirt, but you know, whatever. And I
could howl.
He like put on the shirt. And he was like, he's like, so am I part of the wolf pack now? I was like, yeah, man, sure.
He's like guarded presidents before.
Like, you know, normally I guard people who need protection.
I love how he's really trying to get the backstory. He's like,
Yeah,
okay,
me
he's
too.
like, what's his motivation?
So does the chosen have enemies that I need to look out for?
I love that.
But so we show up to this park, and everybody stayed in character, and it was awesome. I truly was just kind of blown away. I actually genuinely felt like I was like intruding on like an event.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I didn't technically.
That's epic.
I didn't say I was coming on Partiful. You know,
Yeah.
I showed up. And so I walk up, and they were in the middle of doing a chosen competition.
What
and
does that look like?
Just like different skills to establish that you're a chosen. There's many skills.
No,
The winner
yeah.
gets a
Skills.
copy of Blade 2.
Okay.
Incredible.
Perfect.
Good.
And I start walking
Hopefully
up,
on
and they truly-
Blu-ray.
they truly kind of like, everyone kind of like parts like, and like opens up, and I'm like suddenly in the middle of the crowd. And they're all just kind of staring at me, and I was like, I did not prepare a speech. Like, I was just going to show up and say hey and like hang out.
But as the chosen.
And then I was like, I got to say something. And I was just saying, like, truly, it was like so cool. I was like, I was kind of blown away.
Were you saying it as Shayne or in the chosen?
I was trying to stay in chosen, but it was hard. I was like, this is trippy because I'm not performing. I'm just here hanging out, but I am this character, and everybody else is this character. And like, even when we were getting like a
cool.
group photo, like one of the chosens turned to me, and he had like a sai, which is one of those sick like Ninja Turtles knives. And he's like, chosen, do you need a weapon? And I was like, no, I'm okay, thank you. Like, I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
That is so cool. I saw the video and I was just like, this is epic.
It was genuinely so sick. Like, I was like, I can't believe this. So I really like shout out to everybody who organized it and went. And I'm sure there's going to be more gatherings throughout this year. I think I've heard about others happening, and it's really so cool. Like,
I love it.
I love that people find joy in that character.
It's so cool. I I think it's so epic that you like predicted that, and then they all, you know, people are busy and doing their thing, but they all came together, and I love that they all stayed in character.
Yeah, that's incredible.
One of the Chosens, towards the end of the gathering, stopped me as I was like leaving. They're just like, Chosen. They're like, just so you know, as an actual virgin, stolen valor. And I was like, that's the funniest shit I've ever been said. I was like, dude, these people rock so much. I was like, incredible. I was like, well, yeah, you're Chosen. You're busy.
That's really good.
Amazing.
It was so awesome.
That's so cool.
It was the best. We got to try to, like, I don't know, challenge our fans to more things because they do it.
I will say, I guess I can like speak about this, but our fans are incredible. People were sending me this. So apparently in the Philippines,
Yes.
there was a billboard of me because it was my birthday
Yeah.
in the Philippines.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And these fans are amazing. They've reached out to me. They're so sweet. They're so amazing. They had a full gathering to celebrate my birthday after my birthday of all different characters I play.
They had a bigger celebration for your birthday than you did.
I know.
Incredible.
I know. This year I went like really like minimal for my birthday, and they sent me pictures and videos, and I reposted, and it was just it's unbelievable to me. Like people on Slack were being like, "Do you see this happening?" And I was like, it makes me want to go to the Philippines and be like, hey guys, and show up as like Tinky, well, maybe not Tinky Winky, that's a hard costume to like walk around in, but like Sarah Christ, like it was just, I'm so honored because you come up with these characters and you're like, you get joy from them. And then when people get joy and then want to dress up as them, it was just, and Selina was just in the Philippines as well, which is crazy because that's where she's from. She was visiting her family, and she didn't see the billboard, also because there's a lot of traffic. But like, she did get invited to one of these events, and she couldn't go. But like, I just think that's
She got invited to your birthday party.
Incredible.
yeah, in the Philippines.
In the Philippines.
Did you get invited to your birthday party in the Philippines?
Here's the thing.
Oh, no.
They might have, but they
That's
didn't.
kind of an epic, horrible prank is to have a birthday party for someone and not invite them. Be like, it's your birthday, and we're like, oh, Trevor, it's your birthday party this weekend. You're not invited.
You're not
You can't
invited.
But we are
come.
having your birthday party.
I mean, I've never been to the Philippines, but I would love to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our Pinoy brothers and sisters do not mess around.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
We did our episode where we were speaking, trying to read other languages, and people
Tagalog.
were talking about you with Tagalog.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know this.
So my basketball team, when I was in high school, we went over to the Philippines in the summer for a few weeks to play basketball. And so I was just in the Philippines with my friends for a few weeks, and we had friends, and they taught me this song called Basketball, Basketball. And it's funny because it was so clear that it was like an inappropriate, like double meaning song. And they're like, we have to show you this song about basketball. Like, you're going to love it. It's about basketball.
Double meaning.
Yeah. And then they're like, the song is like, basketball, basketball, ang sarap-sarap mag-basketball. And ang sarap, I believe, means like tasty or something.
Tasty basketball.
And it's like taste. It's like about sex. And so the whole time they're like, you gotta learn this song, dude. Like you gotta. I was like, guys, are you gonna tell us what it means? Like it's clearly.
You're like basketball.
But it is truly stuck in my head since 2016 or whenever I went. It's been just like in my head. But it was so much fun. I love the Philippines.
Y'all didn't think a white boy could speak a little Tagalog. Hi from the Philippines? Oy, basketball, basketball, ang sarap-sarap mag-basketball. Anyone from the Philippines for that one? For that dirty song that I was pranked into singing by my Filipino friends, and they said, no, it's just about basketball, buddy. And I went, okay, let me sing it with my whole chest. How do I know that song? 'Cause I'm him. Yeah, you all didn't think a white boy had that in him, did you?
I think it was like some of the most fun I've ever had, like on a trip.
I would love.
They're incredible.
Yeah,
love
incredible.
to go. I went to there was a Filipino festival here in LA because we have a couple Filipino friends, and I went, and it was unbelievable. I think it was, where was it? Filipino town, I guess. Yeah, obviously. It was so amazing. Such a huge community in LA. Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess we all have to go to the Philippines.
I feel like
Would love that.
and sing basketball.
Would love that.
Basketball.
it'd be fun to go and do a show in the Philippines.
I would literally love it.
Yeah.
I've literally wanted to go
Not-
back
not-
ever since
we don't have
then.
any plans.
We don't have any plans.
But I'm saying it'd be cool.
Be cool.
I'm saying it'd be cool to do that.
yes.
It'd be cool.
And I am a working mom. I have help. I have care. My husband's incredible. I can get on a plane without my son.
Guys, I can go to the Philippines. Okay, I could
I
go.
can do it.
I have a passport.
My son won't
can
remember
go.
and won't be upset with me years later.
No.
If I miss a bedtime, even though that's what I think. I'm like, I missed a bedtime. He's going to remember the next day. He won't.
I could go for some chicken adobo right now. Oh my god.
Sorry?
Chicken adobo.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about food now.
Me too. I'm always thinking about food.
I'm not.
Anyways, that's so wild.
That's really
I'm
sad.
thinking about playing Pokopia.
Dude,
I don't know what you just said.
Okay.
a game.
Is this what
Hey,
you guys were talking about earlier?
Let's let the men talk for a second.
Oh, wait, I forgot. Trevor's back on the pod, and I hate you. I like you, Trevor, and then you get on the pod and something snaps at
Gentlemen,
me.
shall we go to the cigar lounge and talk about Pokopia?
Literally
Pokopia.
hate you. No, tell me what this is. Is this... no.
The more I try to explain it, the dumber it's gonna sound.
Well, and I love that.
It's just like a community builder. It's like a Stardew Valley type, Animal Crossing type. You go into a world and it's all about just like you've got kind of this blank slate and then you make it your own.
This
and
doesn't
it's
sound
like
stupid. This sounds fun.
you can build homes, you can
decorate
build
things.
things,
When you say it,
decorate.
sounds a little
Water the grass.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Find but it's really fun because it's Pokemon, so it's like, you can find Pokemon
Yeah, you gotta
and they
catch 'em all.
join your community and it's cute because instead of like catching the Pokemon, you build little habitats for them. So it's like each Pokemon is like, ooh, you want to build like grass under a shaded tree, and then you build that, and then a Pokemon comes and lives there.
Oh, wait, that's really cute.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sounds like you guys are like the town mayor or town construction
yes,
workers.
kinda.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, you're a ditto.
Yeah. Ditto.
Yeah.
You know that
Ditto,
one.
like when Patrick Swayze said it in Ghost, when she said "I love you" and he said "ditto."
Yeah.
I love that. I love that pottery scene.
Speaking of video games, though.
Woo!
Speaking of video games, though, a new Resident Evil came out.
Oh, I know. Trust me,
And it sucks that we're in the middle of a move because I know Spencer is dying
it's gonna happen.
to play it with you
Yeah.
and
Angela ordered T-shirts for us. I'm actually not kidding.
What?
Yep.
What do you mean T-shirts?
So we're on a really cool group text. It's a Resident Evil group text. Me, Spencer, and Angela. Sorry.
Okay.
Angela ordered us all Resident Evil T-shirts.
What do they have on?
What does it just say? Resident Evil? Does it say
Leon on
is
them?
it-
Like,
No, I can't remember. I could literally pull up the picture.
do you
Okay.
own it yet, or
I don't own it yet. She
Okay.
ordered it,
She's
and
ordered, okay.
she told us to Venmo her. I'm not sure if we will.
Did she ask if you wanted it?
That's the funniest thing. Ordering something for someone without telling them and being like, and can you Venmo me
also,
for that?
And you need to spot me for this.
It's possible that we're not going to Venmo her.
I don't think I would.
Okay, here it is. It's so good. It literally says "girl dinner" on it.
Bro.
And it's just Leon Kennedy.
It's
Look at
just
well, it's
Leon.
all the versions of him.
Nice.
Because
That's
you know
great.
we did the video on games
Yeah.
where Spencer had a PowerPoint and explained all of the lore of Resident Evil, which I was like, this is epic. I
Yeah.
wish I knew.
Freaking crazy.
So the iterations of him it's like he becomes like a baddie later.
The funniest part about that is that I guarantee you Spencer will wear that shirt more than either of you.
No,
100%.
he will
100%.
because girl dinner is fun, but it's like I kind of reject the term
Spencer
in a
wearing
way.
it's the funniest
but Spencer
version.
wearing girl dinner is the greatest.
He's gonna have that thing
ever.
tucked in, denim jacket over it,
Yeah.
with the boots on,
with
boots.
his mug.
with his mug full of Kickstart.
Can I clear the air real quick about the mug situation? So
Okay.
remember when we did Guess Who Walked?
Yeah.
And I did impression of Spencer, and
and
everyone's
you
like,
did, and you had a lean to him.
and everyone's like, "What's wrong with you? Why would you do that, you monster?" I was leaning,
because he's
and I brought it up to Spencer, and he agreed. It's because he has a mug.
and it's you were saying he's leaning because it's more of a choice
He's leaning
because
in.
he's kind of like
The way he walks is he leans into a conversation. That's why I walked with such an
I
aggressive.
see what you're
lean.
saying.
I overdid it.
No, I think you
messed up,
nailed it.
But I did nail it like in here.
What?
Hold on.
What?
Keep going. Can you keep?
Oh, damn it.
You have to find it.
I want to do this one justice so much.
Can you do it a little bit more than a couple steps?
Huh.
Hey,
I think
Keep
I
going.
have it.
Keep going.
Oh. And it doesn't say Sadie.
am I not killing this? God, it's like I see it.
It's the. I'm getting some vibes.
Or also this.
Your walks
Yeah.
were very good in that video.
Yeah, Angela really enjoyed hers.
You gave people a lot to think about. A lot to assess.
That video was a thinker. That's
really
what I
was a
was saying.
thinker.
If I'm gonna do an impression of you, I'm going to do it honestly from my point of view.
You go.
I just went on. I don't think I did. I didn't do you.
No, I don't think.
No, I didn't do
I
you.
think so.
I don't know.
I'd
how
love to
do
see
you.
that.
People pointed out that a lot of your impressions of people's walks, they're like looking up. And that's because, from your perspective, everyone is probably looking up.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And that makes
some
so
of them I
much
think it's
sense.
the case. Like I think you did an impression of
Well,
Noah,
Noah always
and Noah
looks up in general.
Noah's very much like that.
But you're taller
everybody-
than me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's one. I got one.
But you didn't do
No, Trevor wasn't in that.
I wouldn't know.
didn't pick a Trevor.
I feel like you've got a pretty like
His is bouncy,
a little bouncy.
and
I
like
bounce?
limber and like
it's really fun.
Yeah.
Look, for listeners and viewers, impersonate your friends' walks.
That's crazy. I've
It's
never
very
thought
fun.
about how I walk. I walk way too fast. That is one thing, is I have to consciously slow myself
walk
you
fast
walk
too.
really fast.
It's because when I was young and I wasn't tall, my dad never slowed down. Like my dad's
yeah.
tall. And so as a kid, I was like, I had to book it to keep up with him.
Yeah.
And then I carried that and now I have long legs and I haven't adjusted. So I just
like
end
that.
up.
My family's fast walkers too.
Yeah.
My dad
Same.
moves.
I don't know what it is about those Gen Xers or whatever. That
They
they had
are
places to
on-
be.
No, my mom too. She's like, "Do we want to go get a coffee?" I'm like, "Yeah." But I don't even. I turned
She's
for
gone.
1 second.
Like there's a cloud of dust.
No, literally, like it's like an image flashes through my eyes, and she is booking it.
It's crazy.
And she doesn't stop. Sometimes I'm like, Mom, there is an actual do not walk sign, and she will not stop. It's like she's programmed. I think if she stops, she's afraid it'll be done, like it'll be over with.
It's also not just walking. Like my dad, I'll be home and he'll be like, "Hey, you want to like leave at like 5:30 to like go to dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's great." And then he'll like text me at 5:20. He's like, "I'm in the car whenever you're ready."
Yes.
I'm like, "Dude, what do you mean?"
Yes.
I'm like, you're sitting in the car?" And he's probably already been in there for like 5 minutes. Like he's
Yeah.
been sitting there for 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My dad picked me up from the airport. He's been there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
He has Dunkin' Donuts, his second Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And he's like, "Yeah, I parked." He parks in the same spot. And he explains it to me every time. I parked. We got to take the elevator. I'm like, "I know where you parked, Dad. I know where you parked. I know where you'll be. You've been here." Yeah. He's like, "I get up at 4 a.m. What is with older people who just wake up at 4 and that's it?
They wake up at 4. They're always my dad's 15 minutes early to the movies without fail. Like we'll go see a
love
movie
that,
and I'm
though.
like, dude, genuinely the previews are starting 5 minutes late. Like AMC in the app has a thing that says your
they have
movie
pushed the previews back.
is not going to start until 25 to 30 minutes after the time it says. I'm like, what are we doing here? I got to sit in the chair for an hour before the
Yeah,
movie
but I like
starts.
that.
I don't like the new previews that they have though. They have like weird like little dumber previews before the actual previews.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Tell me why.
I don't know.
They just have like it's just AMC's own little things.
I don't know. I went to go see Wuthering Heights on my birthday, and we were literally 4 minutes late, which was a crime. Awful. I hate being late for the movies. We
I
walked
do
in
too.
the middle of a scene that I was like, "What?"
Wait, you were late for the movie itself or the previews?
I was literally. I thought so we got there 5 minutes. So they said the movie starts at 1 or whatever. We got there
Right.
at 1:05, which was a crime.
Okay.
But there were no previews. It was straight into the movie.
And
it
you
was
already missed a little
AMC.
bit. You already missed a little bit of
Oh,
the
I
movie.
walked
I would
into-
leave.
I'd be
walked
so
into-
I
mad.
can't do
The
that.
if you know what the opening scene is, I walked into. Do you guys have you seen it?
No.
That's fine. If you have seen it, I walked into that opening scene where they're above and you see that.
Well,
You know
now
what
I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
Now I know everything.
Yeah.
I would not be able to handle that. If
I don't know why people
can't.
hated that movie. I freaking loved it.
Yeah,
There are things that I'm like, oh, I wish, but I loved it.
I heard a lot about that movie.
I loved it. And everyone's like, it's not Wuthering Heights. I'm like, do you really want Wuthering Heights? Do you want that story?
Yeah.
But it is.
I haven't seen it, but I feel like it happens with every book adaptation.
It's not the book.
Nowadays where everyone's really mad, but I'm like, what I did, because I would be pissed off about movies adapted from books, and then I started being like, you know what? It's a whole new thing. I just treat it as like this is a whole new
It's literally in
story.
quotes, though.
It's loosely based on this
Yeah.
book I like, but if I want the book, then I'm going to be disappointed every time.
Agreed. But it's hard. It's hard when you read a book.
It's
and
really
you're
hard.
Really, really into it. Especially if you listen to the audio. I remember listening to Girl on the Train audiobook, and then I watched the movie, and I was like, they're not even British. What? And Emily Blunt was the lead, and she wasn't even. She was speaking English, like American.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, huh? So I get the upset, but there's so many iterations of Wuthering Heights. You can literally see Tom Hardy meet his wife in real life in Wuthering Heights.
There you
Like
go.
that's how they met. Like Ray Fiennes in Wuthering Heights. Like there's so many iterations.
Yeah.
And they're not. It's
Ray
the
Fiennes
artist.
and Tom Hardy have both been in Wuthering Heights.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I don't
I've
have
seen
Rite
way
of
too much.
passage, I guess.
I don't have Wuthering Heights ball knowledge like that, I
I've
guess.
seen them all. I've seen them all.
Whoa.
Literally, I love the story is so. It's like a Romeo and Juliet. It's very tragic.
I think I tried to read Wuthering Heights a long time ago, and I got like 20 pages in, and I was like, no.
I read it in high school.
But I'll give it a shot again.
Yeah, I read it in high school.
This is a different. This is a similar iteration. It's just basically like a love that like you literally can't breathe without them. But
Interesting.
it's just this like.
I need to, I'm going to get into some more classics soon.
Really?
I've been kind of behind on reading, but for the past couple of years, I've been reading a lot of like what's coming out this year, right?
What are you most excited about?
That I bought recently?
Yeah.
Let's see. A lot. East of Eden. I have been meaning to read that for forever. People who've read it are like, it's one of the best books of all time. I bought Beloved by Toni Morrison, which I've also heard is like that's one of the best.
I need to read that book. Yeah.
And then Crime and Punishment is one of those like
Yep.
classics. I'm like, I gotta read this at some point.
Did a movie.
Oh, there's been movies made
yeah.
about almost all of those, I think. But yeah, just classics they're it's an undertaking. It's not like as like, oh, I'm just gonna have a good time and read this. It's like, all right, there are intense themes here and a lot to think about, and I end up rereading pages and
a lot of rereading pages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit more of a challenge as opposed to like a relaxing enjoyment thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't
I feel that way.
read that many in a long time.
Been on my nonfiction grind and the reading, and there's a lot of rereading pages where I'm like, I gotta make sure I caught all that. There's a lot of words here.
I do audiobooks for nonfiction because with fiction, with audiobooks, I have a really hard time with like staying focused sometimes, especially if I'm like doing something while I'm listening to it. And if I miss like a minute or two, I'm like, the just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like rewind it all the time. So
Audiobooks are tough.
I do nonfiction for audiobooks because you can miss a little bit and it's okay.
Just for me, it really depends on the reader.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy reading, so my voice, it's not like Amanda reading. It's like I change my voice according to the characters or whatever's going on. Sometimes the reader can be really distracting to me. But I listen to this other one where there's three different readers, and they all have this like really intense Irish accent. And I was so into it, really, really into that. But like, yeah, audiobooks, it's all about the reader for me. It has to have a reader that makes sense to the book for me.
I get that.
I don't mind. Do you ever do like an audiobook and then also have the physical book? Like a listen, read
people do.
along?
I've never done that.
But I've never done
I
it.
find it nice. I think when there's times where a book, I've like struggled with reading a book, whether for whatever reason, like if I'm just like struggling to keep focus while I'm reading this page, being able to hear it. And it's like, I watch everything with subtitles.
Me too.
I watch everything with subtitles
Same.
because I'm like, I just like to be able to make sure that I'm hearing and like reading along. So it's like with an audiobook, I'm like, I'm hearing it and I'm reading it, and it just helps me stay focused.
Wait, I did actually do this. I did it with have you ever heard of Covenant of Water? It's like a very thick book. He also wrote it's a very medical book, which I didn't realize, but it like spans through all these different stories in India, and the book was amazing, but so much. So I did also tag team with audio, and I found that was like the best way to get through it, but I don't often do that. I know people who read like fantasy books who really want to get to it.
Yeah.
And they literally don't have enough time to move their hands, so they'll listen to audio.
Yeah.
And they'll listen to it on like 1.5 or 2 speed.
Because
Yeah.
they need to get
I was
to
like,
like what's
damn.
happening.
I love fantasy, and I can't do it with fantasy because if
Same.
I'm like really locked on a book, I read too fast for an audiobook. I'm like I'm flipping pages too
Same.
fast.
And
'Cause-
the voice.
Yeah. I love an audiobook, and I've done fantasy books on audio like with an audiobook, but there's times where I feel like I'm like, if I really am like into, like if it's an intense part, I'm like, I just want to go, and sometimes they're just reading too slow.
Or I'm sorry, but sometimes the audio is like, and then he took his hand, and they're always like, it's like they're walking uphill when they're talking, and I'm like,
They're
I'm like,
performing it too much. It's like you gotta move.
Yeah, to me, I don't read fantasy. I don't have this voice in my
Yeah.
head when I'm reading. He thrusts his. I'm not like
Yeah.
reading in a Lord of the Rings voice. I'm reading in my
Right.
voice.
Especially with the type of book you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I say fantasy?
To be clear, you started that
like,
sentence
he
with, he thrust.
Guys,
My head was like, yeah, he thrusts a sword.
End of sentence.
no, God, when they're smut, I was saying this to Shayne earlier in the morning. I don't know why, but when they're smut, there's so much. The smut has to be earned. Those are the type of books I love because there's so much more going on. There's like so much tension and relationship and courts and politics. So when the smut happens, you're just like,
Can I ask what your like least favorite like word or synonym or phrase is for a penis?
oh my God, I love
Like,
this.
is it like
I went into detail
hate-
about this.
It's-
Well, I love member. I think member is so funny.
Member gets used a lot. Sorry, he asked you, but
It's okay. Also, Shayne reads smut.
I only read one recently. I read this book called Icebreaker, and
Oh, what do they say? Because that's more of a modern book.
I don't think, I'm trying to remember if she used like a specific word, or it's just kind of like she just kind of would be like, he was huge, right? Like
Yeah.
that was kind of, but the verb that she used a lot was disintegrating. Like she disintegrated. Like when she like
Ew.
orgasmed, she like disintegrated. And I'm like, what the hell are you?
Okay.
But it gets brought up a lot. I'm like, that's the word you're using? Okay.
That's crazy.
Back to you.
I hate that. So I have friends who read these with me, so I talk about this a lot and like in a laughing manner.
Yeah.
So they use words like considerable length,
Yeah.
Ah.
That's
which
incredible.
I'm not kidding, I do actually like.
Like he thrust his considerable length. Oh wow.
No, his
yeah.
considerable length is straining against his leathers.
Oh my God, dude, I gotta start talking like that. I'm gonna go home and be like, man, my considerable length is just not doing good in these pants right now.
Yeah, exactly.
My considerable length hurts.
So considerable length, it's not like he's huge. It's like, what's the considerable length to the reader?
Yeah, it's subjective.
One that makes me laugh so hard that I kind of like, but in a way that I'm like, why do I like this? Velvet wrapped steel.
Velvet wrapped.
Now, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm literally split.
That's outstanding.
The words are so good. So, velvet wrapped steel. I don't know how I feel, but I
That's my favorite
enjoy-
David Lynch movie.
They also use the word,
Yeah.
which is a great word.
Yeah.
Classic.
I-
They're not using penis.
They're never using
No,
penis.
You're
Never.
never going to see
Why?
penis.
They don't use penis and vagina.
He
ever.
got his penis out.
Yeah. His considerable length was straining, or his velvet. I wrapped my hands around his velvet wrapped steel.
Oh my! I grasped his velvet.
God,
Jesus,
I
that's
like those.
Velvet wrapped steel.
Yeah.
That's a crazy band
I'm gonna be
name.
thinking about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking
for
about
women,
that one.
For women, there's some that I'm like, like what?
See, velvet wrapped steel does not sound good because that makes me think of like a velvet couch, and that material, like,
It makes me think
no.
that they're like
no.
that they're like fae and they have really incredible soft skin over something really
All right.
hard.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. There we go.
I don't need to be embarrassed about this. I'm
You
not embarrassed
don't
about
need to be
this.
embarrassed.
This is great. I brought it up.
No,
You're reading.
I love talking about it, but Velvet Wrap Steel is like one of those where I read it and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then after you read it, you're like, yeah, where is that Velvet Wrap Steel? When are we going to sheath this sword? Like,
Yeah.
what's happening? I seriously, me and my friends will get together and we are dying laughing
Yeah.
about talking about it. But when we're reading it, we're of course like so into it.
Dude,
But
we
that's
gotta.
what I would say.
We should do that. We should do a Smosh Mouth where we're like, hey, you're gonna give us all a book to read, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna
that'd
do
be
a
great.
book review.
I would
A
literally.
smut
It needs to be
book
one that's
review.
absurd. Like,
Yeah.
it needs to be.
Oh, yeah.
The
It cannot hold
craziest
back.
There's some
thing.
smut that I just won't touch. Like I think there's like and hey, if you're into it, get it. But there's some that's like milk, Mr. Milky.
Oh, yeah. That
Mr.
one.
Milky?
Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Yeah, and it's this woman
I
who's
read that
really
one.
into like
That's
so
the one that I
Shayne
read
it.
last year, and I talked about it on like 5 different podcasts.
So Shayne, yeah.
That was the first smutty
Yeah.
book I ever read.
But he's a
He's a minotaur.
he's a minotaur.
Well,
There's nothing
it's a
wrong with that.
world where like mythical creatures just live alongside humans, right?
I like that.
So he's like a businessman.
Yeah.
He's like wearing a suit and tie and stuff, but he's a minotaur.
The cover,
Okay.
the cover is what made me go.
Oh,
I
it's
don't want to read
insane.
this.
It's ridiculous. So I read that, and then recently I read Icebreaker, which is far more grounded. It's a college. It's a hockey player and a figure skater, and one of the ice rinks gets sabotaged, whatever. So they have to share an ice rink. And they hate each other for what
It's literally
for no
cutting edge.
clear reason. They hate
Yeah.
each other, and then they bone a lot.
a
Wait,
lot.
did they ever say bone in that?
I think they say boner. She does say
No.
boner.
Dude, if I read boner,
because it goes between her perspective and his perspective, and multiple times throughout that book, he's like, "I'm trying to hide my boner."
I hate that.
See, but imagine if he said, "I'm trying to hide my considerable length."
Trevor,
my
Velvet
wrap
wrap seal.
Trevor, that's a I realize I don't like modern smut that much.
You like
because they're
some
saying
old
like boner.
school.
I want them to be in a tunic.
Yes,
I want them to be
his velvet wrapped boner.
I want their velvet wrapped boners to be under a tunic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Like-
I get it
I want like
because it's
linen.
fantasy.
My craziest it wasn't like a smut book, but when I was in like 7th grade, I had to do like a book report, and I had to do and I was like, "Hey Dad, any good books you're reading?" Because I was
I got this
7th grader.
porno ad.
But he recommends me this book, and it's like a historical fiction, and it was all really good and a very good book. But there was like 2 things in it where I read it, and it was I was in 7th grade, and there was this like very smutty section where it was just like describing and it was crazy because it was like part of it was like kind of revolutionary or like industrial revolution period, and this guy was like a coal miner, and then he like goes and like it gets out of the coal mine and has sex with like his whoever in like a bathtub, and it was the craziest thing. And I was reading it, and I was like, does my dad remember what was in this book? Because I feel like he wouldn't just give me this book to read if he remembered like these scenes in it.
Probably not.
And then I was
How
like,
old
I'm
were you?
like 7th grade.
Okay.
But
okay.
7th grade, but conservative Christian school, 7th grade.
Yeah. Your
Like-
dad
Okay.
was reading that.
No, I know he read it, and I was like, well, I'm too far gone now to like change books. And then I did the book report on it, and I was like, I had this like fear in the back of my head. I was like, surely like the teacher isn't gonna like go look at the book and then be like, he read a weird book. I was like very scared of that, but that was the first time I read
Trevor,
anything.
I do actually relate to that really like my dad recommended True Blood when I was younger.
Whoa.
And he was like, True Blood is such an amazing show. Like you and
Your dad
you need-
contains multitudes.
You need to. My dad is a fascinating, amazing man. And me and my younger sister, and we weren't that young, but we were watching True Blood, and my mom walks in on this very specific scene where it's 2 vampires going at it, and he snaps her head. He's going from behind, and he snaps her head to face him so that he could look at her. And my mom goes, "What are you guys watching?" And she wasn't judging because my mom also watches what she wants to watch. But she goes, and we were like, "This is Dad's favorite show."
He loves
she
this.
goes,
And it
All
didn't
right.
kill the vampire, right? It's just
no, he was doing her from behind, and he wanted to see her face. So
Yeah.
of course he snapped her head back.
Yeah,
because that's how
that's
you
a
do that.
natural.
But like,
Who's got time to flip over, you know? Who's got time?
My dad is just like, he just loves watching things like that. And so he'll, still to this day, he's like, you gotta watch the show. It's such a good show. And I'm like, yes. Okay.
Damn.
But I'm just like, you know what? It's
yeah, whatever.
whatever. Let's normalize it. But
Oh, yeah.
But I will say in these books, this is why I struggle with modern smut, because I just like, I don't want to read about a guy's boner, because boner just makes me feel like I'm in high school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying the book.
I mean, they're in college in this book.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just struggled because there was really kind of no plot.
To me,
That was like that.
if
There needs to be a plot.
If the smut comes, the first 300 pages, I'm like, uh-oh.
You needed to
I
a slow
need
build.
full plot,
Wait.
full tension.
You have to read 300 pages before you get to the smut?
One series, I read 4 books to get to the smut.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Because
See,
it's
I
not
didn't
just
know
about
that.
the smut. I mean, the smut is amazing, of course, but like I love the tension. I can be turned on just by like looks and glances.
Yeah.
That's why modern smut isn't my favorite, because I feel like they like
Just get right to it.
get
It happens at like page 50 of Icebreaker. And I was kind of like, this is crazy. Like, what? Like, all right, come on.
Barely met the character.
I hardly even know who these people are.
They're already
I
having
know you
sex on the
guys.
ice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to
For
know
sure.
what their wants are,
Yeah.
who they are before.
Yeah.
Need a little world building.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, you need
Did
a
they?
lot.
What college are they at? Did they have other choices?
It's a made-up college.
Did they not get accepted to their
It's a
first
made-up
choice? You know?
It's a made-up
It's a made-up-
college. It's
We
a
don't even know
made-up
who their
college.
what their
Hi,
mom's name
I'm a
is.
student
actually-
at college university.
It's truly not far off from that. It was actually fascinating though, because even though it's modern day, it takes place in a college in California. It was a fantasy book, right? Because it's a college hockey team of like a bunch of 6'5" jock dudes, but they're all so respectful of women. And like, even though they're like douchey, but multiple times throughout the book, it's like
They're perfect.
like going through like textbook of like, here's the most respectful way to handle this situation.
Tall,
right?
respectful
Like there's a
athlete.
part where like she's drunk and he's like, no, you're drunk. I'm not gonna do anything. Like whatever. And then like just throughout it, I'm like, oh, this is the dream world where like even when guys are being douchey, they're
Yeah.
still being so respectful. It was really interesting to read in that
I mean,
way. But
yeah, we that's an amazing. We would love that. That
Right.
I feel like that's how it should be. But what I love about the characters is like the author isn't afraid to make these characters flawed, and then how do
Totally.
they deal with that?
Oh, totally. I'm
Yeah.
like, you can still have this. They still could have had a plot. Because throughout the book, she's just like, I hate this guy. And it's like, why? He's perfect. Like, he's only doing perfect things. She's just like, I'm so annoyed by him. I'm like, why? Like, give us a
Right.
good reason.
There's not enough world building because there's nothing better than enemies to lovers for me.
Totally.
But it's like if the person doesn't like them, I really need to know why.
It needs to be justified.
It needs
Yeah.
to be justified.
Yeah, and that's been of the only couple smutty books I've read. I've been like, there just needs to be more plot. Like there needs to be more tension, more struggle.
Yeah.
So that when it happens, it's like, hell yeah.
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 I think that's a reasonable request.
Reasonable request.
Well, anyways,
Considerable length.
that's our views on smut
Yeah.
and
Not all
velvet
of them,
wrap
though.
steel.
Not all of them.
Yeah, Velvet Wrap Steel. Should we check in with some comments?
Oh yeah, we have a little segment we want to do today where we read some comments. We mainly pulled from one of the more recent episodes a few weeks back. It was you, Angela, and Chance. Actually, no, sorry. It was I forgot.
It's okay. Smut does
A
that
couple
to you.
a couple weeks ago,
Not here.
Angela and Chance and Olivia played You and I and Spencer.
Yes.
And Selina found a bunch of comments from that episode that were very funny. The comments on it were just incredible.
They're so.
And I
funny.
read a lot of our Smosh Mouth comments.
Yeah.
And they're gold.
They are
I pulled
really
up
fun.
some of my favorites from recent episodes. Price Pilled commented, they basically made Amanda the battered wife to two Brokeback Mountain men who can't stop wanting each other.
This is the one I sent to Selina because I was like, wow, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Chance has this whole. I mean, Chance wasn't even there. He literally became
He transforms.
a version of me.
Yeah.
A version of me. No, he killed it. But he has this whole thing where he's telling a story and they're just throwing around my baby. And it is this, they're having like this whole love affair. And he's just like, so in Boston? Like,
Yeah.
it's so good.
I saw some comments being like, oh, they could have dropped the act like halfway through and we could have just gotten them. It's like, I think we actually said that to them. I think we were like, yeah, feel free to like break character at a certain point. They forget who they are.
They committed.
Why would they ever drop? I can't drop an act if I'm in a wig. Like, I don't want to.
Chance is someone else. I think when we like cut for a minute or so, he's just in character. At DJDB Music said, at like the halfway mark, Amanda recording what is already being recorded, never change.
Yeah, I also sent that
You
one.
were filming it.
And I was like, what does he mean? Oh, right.
Because you were filming
I was
the episode
filming
while
the
we
episode
were
while
recording
it
the
was
episode.
already recording.
Nice. Hey, posterity.
It was like, look at them.
You and Angela especially has such an instinct for filming things.
She
And I'm like amazed by it because I'm so the opposite. I do not think to pull out my phone and record stuff or take photos.
I know.
She'll be in the middle
yeah.
of like, if you're ever having like dinner or lunch with Angela, she'll just be kind of in the middle of it. She'll just be like, huh,
Yes.
and like put her phone away. And you're
Yes.
like, you just take a photo? It's crazy.
She does do that a lot.
It's such an instinct. At GWO Pit Out said, my favorite part of Chance playing female characters is that the mustache is always present. I forget that he has a mustache
Same.
in those moments.
Same.
Like, you truly forget. Hannah One Glay said, Amanda is the Sofia Vergara of Smosh. That's high praise.
I would say
did-
so.
I did not.
That is high praise.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara in Modern Family or just her?
Just her in general.
What's her husband's name in Modern Family?
Oh, I forget. Jay.
Jay.
She is so funny.
I'm honestly so honored.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, speaking of True Blood, that was her ex-husband. The guy who played the main wolf.
Oh.
Whatever his name was.
I don't know.
Couldn't tell ya.
I never watched True Blood. Don't tell your dad.
What? True Blood is one of the funniest shows ever. I'm not even kidding. It is so funny.
It's a hilarious show.
It's so funny.
At the O Siren O of O Night.
Okay.
There's zeros. What even is this?
Best comment ever.
I love
great.
that when Spencer said, what is Smosh even about in the Chosen competition? People quote that all the time now, and it's very true. I don't know.
It's
I couldn't tell you.
people ask me like, my family literally is like, "What is smoosh?" I'm like, "It's okay. We're gonna figure this out." I don't know.
I have not had like a real answer. Honestly, since we started doing Smosh Mouth and Reddit stories, it's nice to be like, yeah, we kind of do a couple podcasts.
We can talk about it.
I just
Yeah.
kind of say that. I'm like, sum it up so people can understand. But I'm like, trying to explain board AF without just being like, I mean, I guess the truth is I play board games.
We play Uno
Yeah.
No
and hang out
Mercy.
with my friends.
It's so funny because it's like, yeah, I'll say I like play board games and hang out with my friends, and I'm like, but it's not really about the board games. It's like
nobody pays attention to the board games.
I don't know if anybody cares about the board games really.
Truly, we play Moose Master for kids, and we get heated.
Yeah. On Courtney's new Obsession episode, there was a comment where someone said, gay Joker be like, why so queerious? And someone
that.
replied to that saying, they call me the woker. Why so queerious? And then someone in quotation said, the woker.
Dude, I did a woker bit.
We've been doing woker
I
bits.
did a woker
What?
bit on Try Not to Laugh at one point. I don't
And?
know how it went over. I don't know if that video's out yet.
Oh, maybe it's not out.
Yeah, it might not be
Maybe
out.
that got cut because it was too woke.
It could have
was
been.
so woke.
I think it was pretty funny, but I'll save it. I guess if in a few Try Not to Laughs,
Save it.
Like, I don't know. I could tell you the joke here, but it doesn't feel right because I'm not like wearing.
not wearing-
I'm not
You
wearing.
gotta be wearing the woker
Yeah.
outfit.
I'm good. What does this comment have to do with that episode?
It's just people having fun.
So in this episode, also Courtney, I love everything she's posting from fan art. Courtney does express that she wishes that she was tiny and food was big.
Yeah.
And that she could like sit in a pickle jar or like lay on garlic bread.
She wanted
Wear
to
a
like
tomato-
a jelly
wear a tomato
donut
hat.
to like be inside the jelly donut with just her head sticking out of like the
It's
hole
the
of the jelly
greatest
donut.
I remember that
thing in
from
the
Or
world.
like
a video we did.
She said like swimming in like salsa, and I was like, that would hurt really bad.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
like that, but I
Dude,
enjoyed.
my velvet wrap steel would not be okay.
Yeah, we would have to figure out how to get your considerable length to be clean. I don't know what I'm saying.
Wow. All right.
Wow, okay. So I don't know.
Holy shit.
How does that comment?
I don't know. Sometimes people just having a good time in there.
Yeah, I love it.
And I encourage that. You don't have to comment about the video. You can comment whatever you want.
That's true.
That's
I
true.
do love reading the comments that are just like people saying hi.
to truly
They're
just like, what's up? I'm here hanging out. And then in the We Need to Talk About These subreddits episode,
Oh, yes.
at KLLYEC, someone said, Shayne watching Heated Rivalry for the hockey is like watching Challengers for the tennis, which I also did. And the tennis was good.
That explains a lot to me. Like,
tennis was
how was
good.
Challengers? The tennis was really,
Really, really
the
good at
they're
tennis.
really good at tennis.
That's like watching Marty Supreme for the ping pong.
Yeah.
What? I haven't seen it. Is there? Okay. I'll watch it.
I haven't seen it either.
I haven't actually seen it.
I haven't seen it. Who knows? Maybe by the time this has come out, I'm waiting for it to come to like video on demand.
Yeah, me too.
In the episode where we did talk about Heated Rivalry,
Yes.
everyone wants us to talk about this. At Rinston said, Trevor is going to be devastated when he finds out they talked about pirates without him. We did talk about pirates for a little bit.
we did. And we mentioned you.
Well, because the crew wanted us to talk about things and someone wanted us to talk about the golden age of pirates. And
we
you
talked
weren't.
about Black Sails.
We talked about Black Sails.
And how Black Sails was all of those pirates were gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pirates were
I think here's the thing, and I could go on and on about pirates, so I won't. But it's like pirates were really bad people, and I feel like I have to preface that every time I talk about how much I love pirates. They did really awful things. However, there were a lot of ways in which they were incredibly progressive as well, and a lot of pirates were gay. Like they were just, and they were very
Right.
open about that, and there was no judgment.
You're out at
and,
sea. What
Yeah.
are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
Everyone
but-
needs
Get
some
your
love.
velvet wrap steel out.
Oh
Dude,
my
yeah.
God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see Charles Vane's velvet wrap steel.
You sure? Days at sea?
Shiver my considerable timbers. You know what I mean?
For my concern.
Okay, that was honestly, should we come up with smut?
We
Like,
should try to see who could. We should have a
could-
competition for who can come up with the best
smut?
terms.
Because it has to be like connected to the theme of the book. Because Velvet Wrap Steel, I think, is pretty much directed about like fae. Because
Yeah.
they say fae skin is like really
dude.
soft.
We could come back. We can circle back on
No, we can-
this.
this might be for a
but
whole other
This might be
episode.
like because if we give ourselves time to like write these out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smut terms competition would go so hard.
Oh, that would be.
It would go
It
so
would, it
hard.
would, it would literally.
so
It would
hard.
literally go so
It would
hard.
go so hard. Sorry.
Wow.
In the in the trying to speak other languages episode at Die Go Suelo, they say, I'm from Venezuela and I discovered Smosh many years ago. Back then, I didn't understand much English. I even remember there was a channel with dubbed versions. I liked it more in English, even though I didn't understand nothing. So this feels like a full circle moment. Many years have passed and now I live in the USA, and a big part of my learning came from watching those videos in English.
That's so
I've seen a couple people say they use Smosh to learn,
That's awesome.
and that's why their first word is bitch.
Yeah. Shut up.
I have a few, let's see, that I took screenshots of.
Oh.
I'm going to make a
Yes.
burner account and start leaving comments and try and get in the video that way.
So,
No.
first of all, I ended up on Rare Insults. There's a subreddit called Rare Insults.
Wow.
Where people comment just insults that are like new, like ones
Yeah.
that you never thought of.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Someone posted a one of my old TikToks, like from 3 or 4 years ago. It's me, clean shaven, whatever, and just me in a white t-shirt, close up.
Yeah.
And someone commented saying he looks kind of like a llama in the best way possible.
Can I see the picture?
Yeah, it's there. Like I don't know.
Oh, you do. Look at your sweet little face. Okay. It's because you have like a long face.
I do have a long face there. Why the long face?
I could see a llama with that haircut too.
You do
Yeah,
kind
I
of look like a llama.
Okay.
You look so sweet, like a llama who spits.
Yeah, it's
you know?
not like a.
No,
it's
like-
sort of an insult. It's more of just a statement.
It's more of a compliment to llamas everywhere.
Yeah, that they look
I
like
kind of
me.
agree with you. Llamas are cute.
Yeah.
Then let's see. I have a comment here. I don't know which episodes these are from. We can probably suss it out. At Liz2182, I didn't realize how much structure Shayne brought to Smosh Mouth. Oh, that's the episode with you, Angela, and Chance when I was gone. That was the top comment. It had 12,000 likes.
Hey.
There was a...
Hey. You imagine me trying to bring structure to that episode? I didn't bring the candies. I didn't bring any of that shit. It was impossible. And you know what? I had a good time.
The other top comment on that was giving you guys candy was a choice.
Yeah.
No, it was a huge mistake.
Hey, here we have a audio medium. Let's give you guys suckers.
It was
Jesus Christ.
They just brought that pot of candy.
You guys brought the pot of candy?
Angela brought the pot of candy. And when Angela brings something, you can't say no because it's done. You're halfway through the episode and you go, I should have said no to this. But it's done. And I truly do. I do feel bad about that episode because I was like, oh my God, we're a nightmare. Like for listeners, what a nightmare.
How dare you?
I did feel like I was on acid that whole episode.
It's a very funny episode, though.
The
it's
chart.
really great. Out about the chart. You guys are talking about like intense shit.
Oh
too.
yeah, and we were talking it in a way like
it's we're all laughing, but I'm like, wait, Chance is talking about being outed by the church,
Yes.
which is horribly traumatic.
Yeah.
But we're all
now
laughing.
you see how
Jesus.
we deal with really traumatic stuff.
Yes, it is a tough thing to be, not a tough thing, but like we are the types, all of us at Smosh are the types that handle the worst news in our own personal lives with jokes,
Yeah.
but then we got to try to pull that back
Yeah.
when it comes to other things, because then it
Yes.
comes across horrible. It's
Yes.
like, no, that's my way of acknowledging that this is the worst possible
I
thing.
mean, that is truly we really let loose on that episode, and we were just kind of exploring some dark stuff, and it was kind of like giving each other space to be like, oh, this is how we're handling it while
Yeah.
munching on candy, which was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
And I will take I will say sorry for that.
Yeah.
But
Good.
structure how in that episode how
Yeah, it's fine.
How?
I think it's sometimes good that we don't.
you were gone, and it was just like
Yeah, man.
we let loose.
Hell yeah. Okay, this comes from our predictions episode from earlier this year, and it's someone clocked it. Someone clocked me on this one. They said, I feel like Shayne's predictions are either Smosh will post at least one video this year, or humankind will discover time travel. There is no in between. Dude, okay, I made the mistake of saying we're going to discover a new fish. And the amount of DMs and messages across the board that I get about new fish being discovered.
They're like, you're an idiot.
I knew that like they're discovering new fish
Really?
all the time, but like not at this rate. It's kind of alarming how many fish they're discovering.
I thought.
that
See, I
worries
knew.
me.
We gotta slow down. Now, what I was saying too is I'm like, I want like a brand new, like real brand new fish, not a new classification,
Yeah.
not a boring fish. It's got to be like, holy shit, we've never seen this guy.
Wow, judgy.
Look at this.
Something
He's crazy.
Like they went, like we've gone, they say however much of the ocean hasn't been explored. They went to that part and they found
Yeah.
something completely new.
And I'm getting that people are like, no, they're discovering new fish and they're showing me photos, and I'm like, yeah, that's a new. I've never seen that fish,
You're
but
like, that's a new fish, kinda
I need it to
boring.
be. I need this fish to upstage Punch.
Yeah.
I need Punch to become old news. They're like, no, this fish,
Yeah.
he's the news now.
Hey, buddy, call me when your fish is cooler. man.
Yeah.
yeah,
Come on.
wow.
Stop
Never
bringing me these
knew.
bum ass fish, okay? I don't care.
Hard.
Another comment from another one of the videos. Oh, this is from the episode where you came back. It was me, Damien, and you. This comment made me laugh so hard. I remember seeing it back in the day. At Ruzoku said, I can't believe they're going to execute Damien backstage right after this podcast.
Oh my God. Because it was true. It was like, you're in my seat.
All right. And
He
now
was
we have
just
to
like-
kill you.
And I was like, get out of my seat.
Get out of here.
I played it so hard.
Last comment I have.
Okay.
And this, because I remember a few episodes ago we were talking about rats. Remember? Somehow rats
I
got
did
brought
tell
up.
a story
And you,
about Sam.
we didn't know that you despise rats.
I I do not like them.
Wow.
Maybe it's from being from the East Coast and
Yeah.
going to Boston where like you go in an alleyway and you're like, oh, here are 1,000 rats dancing. Like here are 1,000 rats and they purposely want to
Wait,
get
you
on your
hate
feet.
dancing rats?
Dancing rats sounds
See,
amazing.
I feel like I don't know if I would be cool with 1,000 rats, but if all of them were dancing, I'd be like, that's
They're
good.
dancing
awesome.
on your
Sick.
foot.
That's
But I was trying to convince you that pet rats are like a thing, and people have pet rats, and they're actually very sweet.
They're super cute.
I also, before I get to this comment, I was going to say I'm reading a nonfiction book called The Rise and Reign of the Mammals, and it's all just about how mammals are a thing.
Oh, God.
It's by the same guy. He wrote The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, which is an awesome book.
Wow, that does sound fun.
And now he's writing this book. And I didn't realize that rodents and apes are like kind of on the same, like we're more similar than other branches like carnivores.
How?
Interesting.
I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, right. Rodents like rats and stuff can grab things with their hands.
Yeah.
Little
I was like,
hands.
whoa,
your
we
tricky
are
little hands.
not as far off as I thought we were.
Yeah, like
compared to
mouth.
like things with hooves and things like with
Yeah.
paws.
Bovine.
We are much like rats. They are our brethren.
Yeah.
perhaps.
No, I feel throw up.
Look,
Well-
there's a lot of times in
Here,
my
here.
life where I'll be doing something and I'm like, I could see a rat doing this.
Yeah.
I'm like eating an
Rat
In-N-Out burger over the
behavior.
trash can. At the end of the In-N-Out burger is dripping that spread, and I'm like over the trash can, like, it's rat behavior.
Friggin' Splinter over here.
Master Splinter.
Master Splinter over here. Ashley Morrow said, I've had 4 pet rats in my lifetime, and they are genuinely the sweetest little dudes, like tiny dogs. My very first rat, Fluffernutter, liked to go on walks. Had a little harness and leash. I would walk him outside the apartments I was living in at the time. He also loved hanging out on your shoulder while you did literally anything, or taking a nap and in sweatshirt hoods and pockets.
I'm sorry, that's adorable.
I'm sorry.
That is so
what?
sweet. You have a little rat on your shoulder?
Maybe I've watched too much medieval shit, but don't they like burrow inside your stomach and then eat your organs?
You're referencing Game of Thrones, yeah.
You're
Well,
referencing like
wild
torture methods.
feral rats. That's like
Yeah.
feral cats and dogs are a different thing than.
Do you fuck with Stuart Little?
Well, he's a mouse.
Yeah, but it's
You
like,
didn't have a problem with mice, right?
Ratatouille was hard for me to watch.
Whoa! Whoa! That's awesome!
nobody's ever said that sentence before.
I threw up 5 times in the theater.
Is it? Do I want a rat
Guys.
making my food?
Ratatouille was really hard for me to watch.
You know how much soup they make? Anything could drop in there.
He washes his hands.
I don't
That's
care.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is he's a cook.
That
Anyone
was a
can
hard
cook.
movie for me to watch. It felt like a scary movie.
Damn. Trevor, it was great having you today.
Anyways, dead serious. Thanks, Trevor, for coming.
You said that to a chef.
I love Ratatouille so much.
Is it it's got to be you're a chef. It's got to be your favorite.
It's not my favorite. It's
Yeah,
up
it's
there.
not
I
his favorite.
rewatched it recently. It's an incredible movie.
It's
It is
very-
It's a
outstanding.
fun concept, great movie thing.
Great themes.
How do you
okay.
feel about Feifel?
Feifel Goes West?
Yeah.
I really liked it because of the music.
Okay, but how do you feel about Feifel?
He's cute. He's got a big hat
Okay,
on.
so mice are fine.
He's got like a cute, like he's cute.
Oh, because he's got clothes on.
But he's not a rat.
This
What if-
is
what if
really
the
messed
rat-
up.
Feifel's not a rat.
No, Feifel's
He's a
mouse.
cute little mouse with big ass ears.
But if
Different.
Remy from Ratatouille, if he put on an outfit, would you feel a little better?
No.
No.
He could put on cute ass jeans.
Cute-ass jeans.
Like he could put on apple bottom jeans and I'd be like, absolutely
His considerable
zero.
girth.
Oh God. Oh
Put them on
God.
and you're like, what's straining against we have to stop.
Your little rat.
Considerable length.
Oh, hey, you said it, not me.
Little rat
He
penis.
puts on leathers and you're just like, Jesus.
Has the phrase
God.
"little rat penis" ever been in one of your books?
No, not yet. And I
It'll
think I
happen.
probably
It's like how you
stop.
describe the villain in the Smut book. It's like
Yeah.
his little rat
No,
penis.
Rat
villains all
penis.
have considerable lengths.
Everybody's got huge penises.
Yeah, and hey, considerable length is what's a considerable length
It's
to
whatever.
you.
It's you as the reader get to fill that in.
I
Yeah.
just love
Thank
when
God.
They do all that and then they'll be like, and his and you're like, oh, okay, well,
All right.
I know what that is.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Trevor, this has been a blast.
a blast.
God, I love you guys. It's good to be back.
We love you too.
Good to be back.
I'm excited for us to be in the new studio.
I know.
It'll be a
It'll be
few
fun.
weeks from now, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited. to
It'll
see it.
happen when it happens.
It's gonna be fun. The chairs like move too. That's
Yeah,
what I heard.
it's actually a rotating. It's like the Carousel of Progress at Disney World.
It's just constantly rotating.
And then Courtney with URL comes in for like 10 minutes. And
That's
then,
how it works.
yeah. It's going to be
Incredible.
every show, every
gonna be
time.
wild.
Thank you all for listening and watching. And we'll see you later.
Yeah. We read your comments.
Yeah, we read your comments.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.